Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope you are good. Can you hear me? I think last participant we have till now. Good morning, everyone. So, today we will learn a very powerful tool today which will help everyone, even one who don't have huge dynamic CRM technical knowledge, but they can start their career in dynamic CRM with the help of these particular tools. So if you are still doing your process as manual process in dynamic CRM, and what if I show you how companies are automating approvals, notification, integration, escalation, and complex business workflow using Power Automate without writing any complex code? So, in today's live session, we will build real enterprise automation scenario using Dynamic 365 CRM and MS Dynamics Power Automate to build a basic Power Automate step by step. You will learn how top organizations use Dataverse triggers, automate emails, approval systems, SharePoint integration, team notification, and much more to save hours of manual work. Whether you are a freshers, a developer, a experienced developer, a consultant, or an architect, this session will help you to upgrade your CRM automate skills for real projects and interviews. So join now and learn the most demanding automation technology in Microsoft ecosystem. So if you miss this particular session or this particular topics, so you will miss most of the powerful tools which are available in our markets. So be ready to learn, to grow yourself, and to grow together. I hope you are ready for today with your tools and commands, whatever needed to start with these particular topics. Let me know if you have anything to discuss, whatever we covered so far, so that we can initiate our this new very demanding topics now in a day, especially in this AI era. So AI already utilizing or using more of the our developer space. So if you want to survive in this challenging era, so it's better you learn new technology, these powerful tools, so that you can survive. So let's start this automation part today, so that how to automate our process we will learn together. We will learn together, we will grow together. So try to utilize this time, but not only to learning this particular session, you have to do some practical knowledge also. So let's start this specific tools. So most of the developer, we are doing multiple things with the help of dynamic CRM. Either we are adding a new process, it could be different new enhancement. Either we are getting tables, either we are creating new views or different things. But there are something which we have to do some automation so that we can save the customer time. So how we can save customer times? Whatever we can do, automate. So now you learn or you heard about many things which we don't want to do manually. For example, if you want to notify something or you need to uh, get auto approved, you have to do some automation part so that customer or and customer, they need not to worry about any manual things. Suppose there is a task here, we may have multiple things which we can automate here. For example, very basic things, very basic information here if we are doing. Suppose if you need to generate a report. So in earlier version or earlier time, or there are lower environment. Suppose we have a that monthly report which we need to generate, like what is the current revenue, what is the here we have outstanding from the customer. So there are maybe certain activity which our analyst or our team or our admin or backend team, they need to retrieve the record, and then they need to prepare a report, and then they need to send that report to the higher manager. It could be weekly basis, weekly report, it could be monthly report, it could be quarterly report that we have to build. And we have to prepare different layout. It could be chart wise, dashboard wise, it could be different UI, and we have to prepare a report and we have to present to the different team members. But is there any possibility we can automate it so that we can save multiple users time? So no need to prepare that report now in a day. Either as a developer we can prepare a SSRS report, we can run automatically, we can export it, and we can send it. Even we this is one example. So let me share my screen. We can check multiple scenario which we can understand, like why Power Automate tools now required in a day. And one more. So there are, this is one specific information that we are doing. So generally what we have to do as part of our day-to-day basis activity to automate a process, or to not only to automate a process. So a core developer, they have that flexibility so that they can retrieve that data from backend. So like we are doing with the help of advanced find, these advanced find features. Or let me open it. We have advanced find, switch to classic. So if we can retrieve data from backend with the help of multiple queries, so normally what we have to do, we need to retrieve the data. Most of the tool we are utilizing ETL. What is the means of ETL? ETL means extract the data, transform, T means transform, and L for load. So ETL tools mostly we now in a day we are utilizing for performing the reporting part or to doing some automation task. So which are available in market for MS ecosystem. See, so if you want to learn something from market, so we have here huge here space so that we can learn those things. So if we want to learn those things, so it is not like we can learn within 1 hour all those tools. So these are the tools which are available in market now. So here SSIS package, SSIS tool, Azure Data Factory. Here we have Microsoft Fabric Data Factory, Azure Synapse Pipeline, Power Query, Power BI Data Flow. Now Dataverse Data Flow, Azure Databricks, Azure Stream Analysis, even Logic Apps, even Power Automate. So, if you want to learn any automate tools, any things in market, we have those open tools which are available. We can learn those tools and even we can grow our career in those specific tool also. So suppose I want to become a Power Automate developer. So I can learn Power Automate in such a manner I can write my complete automation with the help of Power Automate tools. It is lightweight tools, business process automation, connection and approvals, connectors and approvals. We have huge different approvals or connectors available for this particular tools. Similar tools we have Logic App. Logic app available in the Azure portal site. So we can take help with the help of this Logic app, and we can build or we can you know uh, do the automation task. This is similar to Power Automate tools, right? Any questions? Any confusion you have till now? So far so good. 1 minute. So we can utilize this specific you know uh, any tools, but today we will learn about these Power Automate tools. These specific tools, anyhow, we can learn those specific tools, but at least you should learn one tool or two tools so that you can initiate, you can have better understanding like how those tools are work, right? So to run any Power Automate or any tools, we should understand here. So there are some specific terminology that we should learn. What types of terminology we are having here? We should understand those terminology. So we have some trigger points here to run our logics. So now let's discuss about Power Automate here. Where is Power Automate? Even there are other tools also like Kingspace or Scribe tool, Data Export Service, Azure. So these are the third party tools which are available, which we can utilize to automate these things. So let's discuss about this particular tool. Like I will tell you related to the Power Automate, right? So related to Power Automate, we have some specific, you know, here Power Automate is a cloud-based automation platform developed by Microsoft. It enables user to create automatically workflow called flows that connect apps, data, and service to perform repetitive task. Repetitive task means, suppose if we need to send or we need to perform a similar logic on daily basis, on weekly basis, so we can schedule a similar task. Suppose one example I want to give you here. I need to send a birthday wish. So I have a huge database. Huge database means, suppose I have, maybe 1 lakh customer, 1 lakh customer database. 1 lakh customer database we have. So on daily basis, we may have, like, anyhow, we need to connect with customer so that we can perform some logic so that we can connect. 1 minute, I'm getting one call here. Sorry to disturb. So hope you understand, there are multiple requirement we may have. So suppose if we have 1 lakh customer, so you also suppose if you are customer for a bank or any insurance company, so they try to make a connect with you so that at least you feel happy, like, hey, these customer or those many peoples, they are at least remember me, they remember my birthday. So the marketing agenda here is they try to send a birthday wishes. So they they want to send some SMS or some email notification. So if you want to send a email notification or birthday wishes, so you have to create a activity record here. So how to perform this particular activity? So we can identify, or so suppose if we want to perform this requirement, so what is other option we have here? We want to automate this process, and also there are one more other activity. Suppose if we need to perform, I have written one logic here, or I want to archive my data. Archive, you understand archive? Archive means, suppose we want to clean up some specific content or some specific activity, or you need to perform some logic, whatever you need to repeat that particular activity. So you can create your logic with the help of this powerful tools, Power Automate. You can read data, you can do the logic, or you can iterate that and you can transform that data, and you can maybe perform the logic. So here it is not required like you should have a specific skill set for this particular one. Specific skill set, like you should have a specific technology expertise. Technology expertise means you should have a C sharp code. You have to write a C sharp base code. You have to write some JavaScript specific code, or you need to write some core code. It could be Python related one, it could be any other related one. So we have a capability, we can perform such activity without writing huge business logic code. Now, how to perform those activities? So, like birthday wishes, sending repeated email notification, sending different types of notification, performing some logic, consuming some third-party API, and returning some here response, and to response that one. So there are multiple here options we have which we can utilize with the help of this Power Automate tool. How to do this one? Let's you know discuss this particular part. Okay, so this is here we can we have seen here Power Automate option, but it's better we can create a Power Automate inside the solution only. Suppose if we need to perform some logic here. So there is a solution, training solution. Now we have a option to create a new Power Automate from this here platform. We can create a Power Automate here as under that automation. So under this automation, we have a option to create here Power Automate. So this is the here cloud flow section where we can create three different types. These are the different types. What it means here if we are selecting here automate, what is the meaning here if it is called a instant and a scheduled flow, right? So automated flow, instant flow, and scheduled flow. So let's discuss this part first. So we are talking about we are learning here something. So let's complete this definition part here. So connect app, data, and service to perform repetitive tasks with little or no code. As part of Microsoft Power Platform, it integrates deeply with Microsoft D365, Microsoft D365, and hundreds of third-party services here. So key fact here: developers who developed these particular tools, Microsoft, when they launched this one 2019 and rebranded from Microsoft Flow. So they rebranded these particular tools that Microsoft Flow. So platform types, cloud-based automation, and RPA. Integration over 600 connectors, you know, deployment, web, desktop, and mobiles. Overview. So core compatibility here, even you can, learn here. Power Automate, streamline business and personal productivity by linking disparate system through triggers and actions. Users can automate notification, data collection, approvals, and documentation management. It supports both cloud and online services, and desktop flow for robotic process, automatic RPA also for local machines. Low code design and integration here. So using a drag and drop interface, we have drag and drop complete interface to build this particular Power Automate. So allow non-developers to build workflow visually. It's share a common data and design environments with Power Apps and Power BIs enables end-to-end automation from data input to analytics. Connector links with popular service such as SharePoint, Outlook, Teams, or Salesforce and Twitter also. So RPA also we can do here. So I will explain you how to use and how to govern the security and the other uh, fact related to this one also. So types of different types of MS flow And see, we have seen automated cloud flow. So triggers automatically when an events occur. So if we want to run a logic, when we can define some triggers means when a record is created, there are multiple different triggers when a record is updated, when a record is modified on different scenario. Like we have seen, we have read here the ms flow. So ms flow, this power automate is the extended version of power automate. So native flow, we have some triggers points. We have seen some triggers like when a record is created, when a record is assigned, when a record is modified, when a record is deleted. So these are also some automated triggers points when we have to define. So if we have such requirement, suppose if I want to create a lead, then I want to send a specific notification to the owner of that user so that they can read that particular email and they can perform that automation part. So use case approval automation, CRM notification, auto record creation, and dynamic data synchronization. And another option we have seen right here. So automated when we have different triggers points when we have to define here. So that instant cloud flow, so triggers manually by the user's action. So like if we want to trigger some flow with different execution, suppose I have a option. I want to give a option so that if user clicked one button, so then he can perform certain activity. Certain activity means, suppose we have recently implemented one task in our previous one implementation. Like user want to click a button and then he want to call some logic, and we call one action on click of a button. So such requirement, if suppose if we want to send one specific email notification, like hey, we have this specific offer for you, or and we want to send one specific notification with the help of that power automate, so that we can pass some here template name with the help of this button click, and we want to send one notification, email notification. Or we can perform button click action or mobile apps, power apps, or manual execution. So suppose if we want to run a power automate so that we can perform some logic, so that is different trigger points that Microsoft is given, where we have this instant cloud flow. We can run immediately. Use case. What is the use case for this particular one? Trigger approval manually, run ad hoc process. So if there are some ad hoc process if we want to implement, what is the ad hoc process here? What is the meaning of ad hoc process? Like how we can implement any ad hoc process? Ad hoc process means, suppose if we want to generate here incentive for a specific duration. So incentive means we have a sales team. So sales team are performing some task, and we have given some incentive calculation, but incentive is not calculated by system. That incentive calculation we have written inside our power automate. So our power automate is responsible to generate that incentive calculation. So we can run that incentive when Either we can add one start date and end date, we can pass some input parameter, and we can calculate that specific one. So that level of logic, if we want to implement, we can perform that logic here. Hope you understand this logic. So most of the developers, they are thinking like, hey, we know Power Automate. If we have received any requirement, such requirement, then we will only come to know here and we will learn this particular topics. But this is very powerful tool. We can achieve multiple requirement with the help of this Power Automate tools. So this one, so scheduled cloud flow. Suppose if we want to define, or we want to define some specific duration, so it is not like, so one logic, it will run automatically either on a specific trigger. Second one is, we have a instant flow, like either user can run this particular logic on ad hoc basis. And third is scheduled basis. Scheduled basis means some logic we need to run based on specific duration, like we need to run our Power Automate every 5 minutes, every 5 minute interval, or maybe every 1 hour, every hour, 1 hour, or maybe we can schedule every day, 10 a.m. East IST time. Maybe uh, maybe we can define this particular students or weekly basis, or maybe monthly basis. So we have a capability where on a scheduled flow we can define the different trigger points. So if someone asks, so if you mentioned like I have worked, in Power Automate tools for different types of requirement. So they may ask you, where this is frequently asked questions like, hey, you have worked in the Power Automation type, or any automation you have done. So if you told like, yeah, I have done, so they may simply ask, what types of Power Automate you have written, and what was the trigger points? Can you define a real time reuse case, or one real time implementation which you have done? So you can define different here options, whatever we discussed here. We can send one reminder, or one reminder like, hey, this particular invoice is pending. So if suppose if there is one task is opened for a specific time, so suppose one automation part also. So if there are certain tasks, team members they need to perform. So if a requirement here is, any open task, if due date is passed, then send 3 reminder. So if, so first reminder should be, send reminder to owner, like this task is open. So you can mention start date and end date also. Please take a action and close it or take a proper action. You whatever the requirement. Second reminder, if it is still open, send a second reminder, and still open, send a second reminder and add owners and managers into CC, right? So if still that task is not closed, maybe due to XYZ reason, so he need to perform a action and he need to change the status, because we are reading or we are checking only those email which are still in open state. So we are sending this particular reminder, and even we can add here a counter, reminder counter also. Reminder counter, based on this reminder counter we can take a calculation. So here, if suppose if this is a one counter, second, so here if we need, if this counter here is 2 or 3, we can take a decision like, hey, this and is still open. Anyhow, we are reading only those emails which are still open. Send a third reminder and add OW, owners, managers, and add business head in CC if they are not performing. So in this particular case, what they will perform. So likewise, we can make sure our task is performing. Our team is, they should understand like, hey, anyhow we have to perform our task. If our task is still opening, we are getting multiple reminder. So if they are getting multiple reminder, that user need to take care. If this is a second reminder, they will get notified, their manager also get notified. So he know, if this person, first person is not working, his manager and even the business had also notified like, hey, those two person are not working. Two person, because business had know only this owner's manager, OTL. Whatever we can achieve that one, so we can add those level of notification here with the help of this MS Dynamics Power Automate tools. So this is a very powerful tools here. So now let's check, if suppose if we want to create a first automated tools here. So what option we have here? Just I'm try to explain you here in a very deep detail, so that at least one person, maybe there are many person who know what is the use, how to utilize this one, but there are other person also who don't know about this power automate tools here. So at least we should know, right? So suppose here, flow name, test automate tools. Okay, so we have here multiple different triggers. Even we can create or we can select any trigger from here also. So here you can see there are, we have seen there are 660 different connectors are available, which we can automate here with the help of those automation tasks. So even we can add a trigger points, like if we want to automate something, like if I have a OneDrive, So if there is a file is created into that OneDrive, I can perform some logic also. If I can add some more event here triggers points. So this is a when a row added modified in Dataverse live. So suppose if we want to add any logic related to Dataverse, even we can select from here, or we can skip that trigger points from here. So we can skip and maybe in later we can define that one. So let's, because we are working for Microsoft Dynamics CRM, so let's try to use this trigger point. So this is the new UI we are getting here. With the help of this Power Automates, we can do certain logic here. I will give you very basic example here, very basic things here. So suppose it is asking for Dataverse access, because anyhow we have to authenticate here. So it is because it is asking CRM authentication. We are using this ID to create a connection here. This information is especially for beginners. Very basic information I'm giving here. But if you want to utilize something, so see here, these are the customs here, actions we have here. So what is the difference here, or what is the meaning here? If it means if a I have selected here is added means when a record is created into dynamic CRM. You mean you understand what is the meaning of created or added? So suppose a record is adding. Suppose if I have selected here is a as a tables. Tables means suppose if I am selecting here a lead entity. So these are the available tables whatever we are having in the dynamic CRM. So suppose this is a lead entity in lead table. So what it means here? So if a record is created into this lead entity, then this is a option we will get here, right? Okay, so this here. Okay, now we have a option here. This, now you understand the scope. Scope means if it is related to business unit, if it is related to the organization level, parent child level, or user level. So we have defined here scope as a organization level. So it will impact or it will check, like you should have this particular logic, like in a workflow level also we have checked like what is the scope for this particular one. Now we have a step here. So this is the trigger point we have defined here. So now we have to add different step. Step means now what to do, sending a notification, or what is the action or trigger point, or what we have to do here. Either we need to do a update logic, or suppose if a record is creating, you need to add or update, or what is your action here. So we have multiple options. Even we can do the control. We have here different if else condition, different logic, different if and conditions. Also we can read something else based on this record ID, or we can automate some. So let's give one simple example. Suppose a record is created in lead level, we want to send a notification. So sending a notification, we may have different event option also. So we can send email notification with the help of this connector, Outlook connector. And even we have a option, we can send this email notification with this mail connection. Now you have to understand which one we have to utilize here. Suppose if I'm using this connector, so I should have a option to send a email here. Okay, so now action, assign a category multiple email, create a contact, create a event. So we have multiple here, you know, even the trigger points or the different action here. So you can utilize any of this Outlook related, this Office related action here. So this, like this, we can send an email B2, send a HTTP request, send a draft message, draft an email message, create event, create contact. So we can perform here different option. So let's use this one. So now it is asking to create a here connection. If you are able to authenticate, if you have that option to send a email, you can send a email also with this particular connector. But I told you, you should have a proper permission to send it. If this particular user is having option to send a email notification, then we can create a connection. So here for this particular user, connector not found, please create a new connection and change if your application to use a new connection. So likewise, because this is trial environment, we may not have multiple option here. So we can perform any other option. So let's try to use this action here. Send an email notification B2. This is the connector, accept it. So to email here, we can build dynamically here. We can choose the to, we can choose the subject here, and we can choose the here. Suppose if we want to choose here, if we want to send a email notification dynamically also, let's try to use if I can get that notification. If we can send that one, or it will ask for contact. No, it should be a here OWNER. Okay, so let's try to check this one. So like test, test, notification. So now we can save it. So likewise, we can send, we can even add different types of logic here. And this is one here notification, that test automation we have created. Now similarly, we can create different types of here notification, instance flow, scheduled flow, so that I can showcase. Test, what this is, test ms flow, and we can select here manual triggers. So this is the manual trigger here. We can here add some input parameter also, and even here Dataverse we can perform some different logic. So suppose here we can get arrow, get row is selected, get row IID. or we can list a row, list row. So here choose tables. Suppose I need to perform some logic. I need to retrieve all the leads based on select column. I can give the list of column here, or I can add a fetch XML query. I hope you understand the fetch XML query. So suppose here lead level entity, I can generate a fetch XML. I can add different view here, or leads. So all leads means whatever we have, or I can add here active leads, open leads. I can download a fetch XML. I can select here. I can copy this fetch XML. Try to listen this one. So I can add a fetch XML query here, and I can save it. I can run it. So even I can run this Power Automate MS Flow. So even if I want to run this one, I need to open this one. Yeah, mobile recharge reminder, you can do multiple things here. This is one of the real time example. So suppose you run this flow. So this flow is running. Once it will run, where you can. So here you can check the run history also. So here you can check. Oh, this is the here. So output. So whatever you have written here, if you want to retrieve more data here, so this is the fetch XML query. Even you have written here. If you want to apply each, you can do here also in this particular one, and you can check how many record it retrieved, right? So now check third one also, the different option where we have that flow. Now create a new scheduled flow. Scheduled flow means how to schedule that flow also. We can trigger this one. Scheduled flow. So here I can define this particular frequency also. Repeat every 1 minute, repeat every week or every day also. So it will run a specific time zone also. So every day, one time, 10 a.m. it will run. We can define that schedule also here, and even we can change that schedule also. So recurrence also we can change here. We can change different setting also here. Concurrency control. So advanced setting. Even we can define here time zone, UTC, PTC, whatever we can define. So Canadian time UTC. UTC Canada time, UTC Canada, PTC, IST, whatever we can define here, and also Eastern time also we can define this one. Okay. So this is the recurrence, and now we can schedule this one. So now suppose if we want to Dataverse we want to retrieve. Now we want to list a record, list a row, and then choose the lead. And suppose if we want to use that fetch XML, okay, and then maybe and now we can add a control here, apply to each, you know, add action. Now we want to, and if you want to see something, check something, for each loop apply. So here if we want to choose a variable, or if you need to perform a logic, if you need to validate, or you need to send a notification, or maybe if you want to add a variable here, you need to define a variable, and then you can store that information. If I want to test this one, apply to each field, list row, each object result must be valid array. Okay. So list. So here we will do. We can add here our logic. Like suppose what is our action here as part of this one. So we can apply that logic here, and even if we want to add some logic inside this one, we can perform that logic. Suppose if we want to send some, so if you want to perform any other logic also, you can check that one. And suppose you can validate different here logic, like conditions, like if this particular row count is greater than or equal to 0, then perform some logic. Like if any record is count, then only we have to perform some logic. We can check any validations here, and then we can perform the different logic also here. So likewise we have three different here types which we can automate here, and there is one more another option we have, like schedule or RPA, that schedule flow. So now we are over the time, so let me know if you have any concern, any questions, then we will check. Otherwise, how to debug Power Automate flow? Yeah, that we have other option. So like we how to if whatever content we have, so we have that run history. Inside that run history we can check like how it is going, and how it is performing. We can discuss further maybe tomorrow. I have set up one very informative information which will help you to clear your interview, how to perform that action, and how to give the answer, and how to start this dynamic CRM. journey. Okay, let me know if you have any other option or any ask, then we can discuss tomorrow at the same time. Thank you everyone, thank you for your time. Let's connect tomorrow.